Hello, and welcome to part 4 of my classic snake game tutorial. The game was completed in the previous video, but it is in monochrome and I want it to look better. Modern Linux terminals support more than 200 colors, and adding color support to this game is relatively simple. By default, Linux terminal supports two colors, generically defined as foreground and background. These colors are environmental settings, and in my case, they happen to be white on gray. I will add support for 6 additional colors to this game, where the additional colors will be used to spruce up the game interface as well as color the food numbers and the snake body. The curses library has a few predefined colors, which saves us from defining them as abstract numerical values and makes using colors much easier. For example, color red happens to be a 1. I'll place the colors in a tuple, which makes it easy to process them using a loop. All data stored in a tuple is immutable, making my colors read-only after they're defined. Color support needs to be explicitly enabled with the curses library. Calling the start color and use default colors functions will do that, but this in itself will not make a difference to the game yet. Any colors beyond the default background and foreground must be defined before they can be used. The initPair function takes 3 arguments, defining the pair ID number and the pair foreground and background color. This loop will add 6 color pairs for my color lists using the default background. The game at this point will not look any different, as I did not change any interface elements to use the new custom color pairs yet. Let's start by coloring the food numbers. With color support, each number now will need an additional parameter describing the number color. A new name tuple will contain it nicely and make it easy to use. The growFood function generates a random number which becomes food for the snake. I will add code that will randomly generate a color code out of the 6 available options. Now, instead of just a plain integer, each food will have 2 attributes, numerical value as before, plus the new color. The number will be now displayed in color on the screen. I need to update the code that allows the snake to grow to reflect the new number type. Let's add some color to the scoreboard and make the game over pop-up stand out. Most of all, I want to use bold emphasis on all text in this game. Other than the obvious effect, bolding text under curses makes colors also appear more vivid. You can provide additional modifiers to the formatting by connecting them using the bitwise OR operator. For example, making the entire pop-up window red. The default formatting applied to an entire window can be overridden as needed. I will customize the colors for all text within the scoreboard and the game over pop-up. Let's change the player score to appear in blue and the high score to be red. The game over message will have a different color for each line. That looks much better. The snake is still white. I want the snake to change its color, matching the numbers it finds. There's no reason to store the color code for each snake segment. I prefer to look at the snake colors as bands, stored separately from the snake. This will save some memory and give more flexibility how the color changing will be implemented. The color bands will be a list of numbers. The value of a single color band will follow the game score plus 1. For example, if the snake starts blue, then it finds a red number 4 followed by a green number 2, the color bands list will have 3 number elements. Let's take care of the game start first. The initial 1 segment long snake will be shown in a random color. The value of a single color band will follow the game score plus 1. This will let us know later where each color band is positioned within the snake. The initial snake color is shown on the screen, but all the other color changing code will be placed within the moveSnake function. Right now the snake growth does not have color defined. Now that color is supported, this can be changed so the default one segment growth carries on the existing color of the snake's head. An example one segment snake that starts blue will continue being blue that way. If a number is encountered, it will be used to change the growth color, overriding the default color used above. The extending of the snake's length based on the number encountered is taken care of by the line that follows. Now the entire growth has a certain color based on the number encountered. The new color band needs to be saved in memory based on the current score. The color bands are appended at the beginning of the growth list, and this matches the snake's growth direction. The growth segments are added to the snake front one at a time. Now that the growth is in color, the order matters, and it's the oldest growth segment that goes onto the snake. Right now the program trims the last growth segment too early. This line needs to be moved down a bit to fix it. With the oldest growth segment now available, I can add it now to the snake on the screen. The MoveSnake function is almost ready. It's capable of handling two scenarios. In a simple case, the snake finds a number and it grows based on the number's value and color. The color change will be permanent until another number is found. If the snake finds a number while it is changing color, it will finish the current color changing process and continue growing based on a new number. This actually looks pretty good, but I want the snake to retain the colors so the snake becomes permanently multicolored. Now the color bands list becomes actually useful. It will be used to redraw the snake where each beginning of a color band will be moved forward. This is similar to what was done with the snake's head before, but now it will be done for each beginning of a color band. The first band has the correct color already, as the while loop in MoveSnake function takes care of that. The remaining snake bands indicated by the color band index starting at 1, they need to be refreshed. Each color band value tells us which snake segment needs to change color. This is calculated relative to the snake's length. For example, if the snake has 3 color bands, green with a value of 7, red with a value of 5, and blue with a value of 1, we start at the red band. If the snake is 7 segments long, the segment indexed as 2 needs to change to red. After that, segment indexed at 6 needs to change to blue. This color changing routine needs to be repeated every time the snake moves. We are almost done. There's just a small housekeeping task left. Now that the program is finished, the traceback on program exit shouldn't be displayed anymore. Pressing Ctrl+C raises a keyboard interrupt exception, which can be easily handled. I will use the pass statement here, which means do nothing in Python. This is the end of my snake game tutorial. I hope you liked it. I am planning a follow-up video for a 2-player version of this game. Let me know through comments what additional features you would like to see implemented. Don't forget to subscribe to get a notice when this new video is up. Thanks for watching.